Chicka wow wow.
Hello.
Hello world. That's
Welcome.
like my opening. Welcome to our
Welcome.
kids' toy room.
Slash office, slash piano,
Slash
stretching room.
slash yoga room, slash stock room. Oh, how are you this evening? We've had some tech issues, so if anyone can't hear us, too bad. You'll have to jump onto the
We're recording, so it's
jump
okay.
onto iTunes or Spotify for that one. That's all right. We've got a backup plan. We're so excited to be with you guys tonight. No one can see your face, Dals.
Okay.
Because after the back of an epic episode last week on fulfillment, we've had so much beautiful, positive feedback from people that have listened and actually taken some action steps towards living that fulfilled life, that we came up with this week's topic being judgment based on someone's response to us. And basically we were just in discussion over the table, and we just said we hope that she follows through with what she said, because she's young, she's carefree, she doesn't have any, I guess, responsibilities right now with where she's at in life, that we just thought, imagine that, we've inspired this young woman to go and live the fulfilled life that we all wish maybe we'd taken a different route back.
She had the light bulb moment.
Yeah, she had the light bulb moment. And you know how good that feels when you have a light bulb moment, right? Like you get these warm fuzzies and you're excited. You wake up at 5:30 in the morning and you want to go and you want to, you just want to take action. So basically from that chat, you said, based on where she's at in life, I just hope that no one else's opinions or judgment stop her from taking that step. And I was like, how many people?
Yeah, of course.
How many people does that happen to, where they're like so excited about a moment or about taking their next step because it feels right for them and it's fulfilling and meaningful to them, but then they're stopped in their tracks because someone's like, I don't think you should do that. Or, they say something that just full on triggers you and crushes you, and you're like, I'm not doing it because that one person or that handful of people said, don't do it.
One of the books I read, we called them dream crushers.
Dream crushers, yeah. I don't like those people. They crush your soul.
And you know what? We're laughing here, but even
serious.
It is serious. But even so, the person might crush your soul in that moment. They didn't even know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because the light bulb moment happens internal to you. So then, how you're trying to express this thing that you're not even 100% clear on yet. You're in the pursuit of your fulfillment. So, you get to that point, and then all you want to do, like Bianca's saying, you're tap dancing to work, or let's say, you're excited to get up and go do something.
Tap dancing to work.
And the point of what I'm trying to say is, so you've got this,
Not quite.
you got this excitement inside of you that you want to just go out and do something. And then it's the influences, the external influences to you that we want to bring to the light tonight, bring to the awareness of people tonight. See, because the thing is, a lot of this stuff happens in the subconscious. It happens behind the scenes. It's not necessarily in your face. You don't really know what's happening, but then all of a sudden we say a podcast on fulfillment and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go do it. And then you speak to 3 people about your idea, and then you're like, no, that was a rubbish idea. And I was like, no, it wasn't a rubbish idea, because if you spoke to 3 people who got you G'd up and got you excited and didn't have the judgment or the opinions attached to whatever you're saying, if you didn't have that and you had a optimistic outlook and you had something that wasn't judged, it could be a whole different ballgame. You could see yourself completely in a different position in years to come.
And the only reason why, I guess, our motto, our phrase for any episodes that we do is that we can only speak from experience, and we will only speak from experience because that's the only way the talk can be real. And that's what we promise always to you guys. And the first thing I have written on my page, which is like 5 minutes ago when you sit there and you write what you're going to talk about, like based on what you've gathered around the years, is that we actually experienced this firsthand. That feeling of being judged when we were trying or we were seeking to live that fulfilled life. We wanted to evolve. We wanted to, we now know them as secondary needs, because our primary needs had been met. We have water, we have shelter, we have air. Like, we're good. Okay, and we have food. But then comes the, like, you know, when you start to think about, oh, I want to eat well, or I want to start focusing on my body or my mind. Like, when you're starting to look at other areas of your life, this is when this popped up for us. So when we started our health journey 5 years ago, little did I know what was going to come of that 5 years later. Obviously now we have a career level successful business that has enabled me to stay at home and to help other mums feel good in all areas of life. That's what I'm absolutely passionate about. And I focus on health and mindset because that's where I started and that's what I know to do best. But then when we were so happy, like we were in this bliss bubble, and we'd go to places and people that we knew would pop that bubble within seconds with a statement, with a comment, something that triggered inside to be like, but hold on a second, like, we're good, like, we're happy, and why aren't you happy for us?
What's the problem?
Yeah, what's the problem? And like now looking back at that time, I felt hurt. We'd come home from family functions or we'd come home from certain events and be like, I don't get it. Why would they say that? Or why would they do that to us? Like, they're our family, or they're, you know, and we just couldn't understand at the time. But everyone's on different journeys at different phases. We're all, you know, we've all got our own books and we're all at different chapters, and one day perhaps we'll all meet. Okay, you got it. You hear me? The way that we think majority, okay. If you're listening to this right now, you're not the majority, okay? Because Lockdown with the Loshies is real talk with real people talking real life stuff, but we add in our philosophies. We add in the self-development, the personal development journey that we've undergone over these 5 years. We add in a bit of our flavor. We talk about the books that we've read. We talk about the other, mindset philosophies that we can help share with you to help you move forward. Take it or leave it. That's completely up to you. But what we're trying to say here is that people judge us on that. I used to judge people on that. When, I could be like, what are they talking about? But the reality was that I just actually didn't understand at what phase in life they were at. And perhaps that comes with wisdom or experience. Yeah, experience. When you're going through certain things, you have to look for certain avenues of assistance or support.
Yeah.
And perhaps at that time in our life, when we were going on that fulfillment journey, we went on our health journey, but then it became the mindset journey and the transformation journey, and it was so much more than just what we looked like, but no one else understood that. And we constantly were judged on that. We are constantly judged for doing Herbalife. We are constantly judged for the choices that we make in terms of the way we choose to raise our children sometimes, like whether they're wearing socks or not wearing socks, whether their hair's done or not done, like
whether I'm going to drink at the family event or not drink at the family event.
Everyone has a choice. And just because we choose not to drink alcohol has no effect whatsoever on you or like the person that we're with. If you want to drink alcohol, amazing. And I'm not saying that I haven't had a glass of wine in 5 years. That's not true at all. I have. But I actually just don't enjoy it anymore. That's not my lifestyle. But we're constantly judged because of that. And then from that, our relationships have changed in other areas of life. But that's another topic.
So let me not sum up, but just so Bianca's, from the start of what Bianca said and all through that, ringing through all of that, The main thing here is Bianca and I were seeking. We were seeking through all of these moments. We were seeking
better.
Yeah, just some kind. We were seeking. We were asking for help. You know, like we were arms are out, and we were like, we want to be better.
Yeah.
That's where all of this whole journey started, and it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, and it's simple, but it's not easy. But all of these moments that have come up were just moments for us to develop ourselves a little bit better, to communicate a little bit better. And Bianca's pulling across a book here that really rang true to me, and I wanted to bring this up right now because it makes a lot of sense in regards to the judgments that we all have. So what Bianca's saying right now is we still get caught up in this judgment business because we're all still human. Do you like?
Oh mate, not perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. The point is we're all still in this growing phase. So,
can I just tell a story about this book?
Yeah.
I remember when I bought it because we were on the retreat in Adelaide. It was 2015. The only reason why I bought it was because it was on Oprah's book list, and I thought, well, if Oprah can read it, then I can read it. And I bought it because it was small as well.
It's fair.
I judge myself in those moments.
Hey.
I'm like, I don't read books. I haven't read a book ever. Why would I go and start with a mammoth book if I know that I can start with something like this and actually understand it? But this book, The Four Agreements, it may be small, but it is filled with absolute goodness.
It's unbelievable, really. And I was, when we were talking about this whole judgment podcast, I was thinking about this book because what you got to understand and what we all need to understand. So this is the shining the torch. This is the awareness part that we're trying to grasp here. We, along with you, are trying to grasp this. He calls it the domestication of humans. You got to understand for our whole entire life, you have been programmed for punishment and reward. Now, it pisses me off because I still do it with my kids. Because
we try to catch ourselves.
Of course we try and catch ourselves, but what I'm trying to say is we're all programmed in this moment. Like we're all programmed to, like I said, either move towards pain or move towards the reward. And let's be honest, most of us, our bias would want to move towards the pleasure, move towards the reward. You want to stay away from the negativity. You want to stay away from the judgment. You want to stay away from all the criticism, all the bad. Now, what we want to explain here, that bad and good is your reality.
Your perception, yeah.
Yeah, your perception of reality, bad or good. What does that mean? Because I always ask, compared to what? Because most people say, this has really happened to me and it's bad. Well, is it bad? Like, play it out. You don't really know if it's bad. The point that I'm trying to make here is we've all been programmed. We've all been programmed to judge, good or bad. So then, therefore, it's easy to go along the path of life. Like Bianca said, the majority, it's easy to go that way because you're doing what everyone else is doing. You're not going against the grain. You're not going against that domestication, the funneling into, what you should be, what you should do, what you should listen to. Let people should all over themselves, not should on you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you don't need all of those shouldas. So we're just trying to, like I said, create a bit of awareness around the judgment. And we're starting with this judgment outwards. Because in reality,
Inwards, you mean? Inward.
No, we're starting outwards. We're starting with your other people are saying things to you and you feel hurt. You feel something inside that, the other person has wronged you somehow, some way.
I was massively triggered. And when you think like that you can't be triggered anymore because you work so hard on yourself, you are freaking kidding yourself. Like, I had to slap myself and be like, this is happening again because you need to experience it. Like, there's something to learn from this. And I was put in a situation like not too long ago where I guess my integrity was questioned. And when my integrity is questioned, I've said this before on a previous episode, I like react. And, I was neutral for a little while and I probably won't address it with this person because the reality is this person judged me and she didn't even know that she did it. Reality is that there was no, and this is a term that I want you guys to remember when you ever think of, if you're judging someone or even, if there's a situation and you just think, what is really happening for that person right now? Seek first to understand. It's from a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
It's a good book.
Okay? You do not know what is going on in that person's life. You have no idea. And the way that the 4 Agreements describes it, my image, and if I can give you this image as well, you've got your own bubble. You're in your own bubble and Ant's in his own bubble and you're in your own bubble and everyone's got their own bubbles, okay? No, and not even Ant knows what goes on in my bubble, okay? And I have no idea what goes on in his bubble. But if he tries to pop my bubble and I try to pop his or vice versa, then I'm not going to understand. I'm never going to understand, which is why communication is so important in effective and in these scenarios. So my question was at that time, why didn't she just ask me? Why didn't she ask me what was going on versus assuming or making judgment on what my action was at that time? Because for me, it made sense in my head. I knew what I was doing and it wasn't a big deal at all. But for me, it was everything at that point in time because I felt judged. An assumption was made about me and one of my core values was it was shaken. And I don't like uncertainty and no one likes that. So when that inner value, that spine, that I guess the core of me was almost rid of me, I was like, what is going on? And this is a person I know. And then I thought knew me and I'm like, you know what? This actually has nothing to do with me. Nothing at all. So I hope the bubble analogy can shed some light for you before you go and gossip, before you go because by the way, none of this is actually productive for you. You are wasting energy, you are wasting time, assuming, making judgment about other people.
No.
When you don't know what's actually going on in their bubble. So, why has someone sent you a snappy text or... Mate, you can't even read tone in text or messages. Pick up the goddamn phone, voice message.
Voice text is
you can stand 1.5 meters apart. Just ask the questions. What was going on for you that day, B? I really thought something was up. It just didn't seem like you. You seemed off. Oh, hey, Anth, I was really worried about you the other day. You said something that, just didn't seem like you. Can you tell me what was going on for you? Talk to me. How are you feeling on that day? Is everything okay? Don't ask, is everything okay? I learned that from Angela, the psychologist. It's, how are you feeling?
How are you feeling?
How are you feeling? Okay? Because, I just got a sense that your energy was off.
And side note to what Bianca's saying, the challenge that you're going to have with that level of awareness and that effective communication in that point in time, you got to understand that most of the time when we're having a conversation, you're just waiting for the other person to stop so that you can say your thing.
Yes.
Do you so what Bianca's saying, that sounds easy to do. That's not easy. That's called listening, real listening. Sitting there with the intention to be how are you feeling? What was going on the other day? That's a genuine conversation opener. But then at the same time, that could just be you could just walk past someone and be like, hey, what was going on the other day? And then it's not the same thing if you get what I'm saying. So there's a level of awareness in what Bianca's saying, and like I said, the ability to actually want to seek that information from the person. Do you know what I mean? And if you don't, then sweet, just let it go. It doesn't matter. Because when I say it doesn't matter, to a certain degree it does, but what
you don't know like what their perception was of that moment.
Of course. So you need it.
Yeah.
But we're trying to peel these layers off right now, and like I said, we're still in this notion of speaking out like to other people. So you got to build this system back internally to yourself, because now you got to sit with this for a moment, because it sounds simple and it's not, and it's really deep. But
deep with the lushies tonight.
It's just all of these judgments, all of these moments that get underneath your skin, they are all mirrored reflections of something that is going on internally with yourself. And I'm straight up, I'm being completely honest with you, that statement pissed me off so much. It still pisses me off to this day, because at any one point in time, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll be like, how are you telling me that that's a mirror of me? No way that's a mirror of me. It's a mirror. Like there's some part of whatever just pissed you off right then is something that you need to work on inside of yourself. And I'm telling you now, any kind of superficial thing that you got running through your head right now, it's way deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. What we're trying to discuss here is we want to get, yes, it's important to seek first to understand of other people. Yes, it's important to when other people are bringing their stuff onto you, how to absorb that and how not to absorb that, and what to do in those scenarios. But really at the core of it, if you bring it all back, we want to get this to a point where you need to understand that this is never more than something inside of yourself. So I'm serious, that other person, whatever they're saying or doing or the acts, none of that is actually real. It's hard. It's honestly, that is so hard.
It's really hard to describe. It is.
It is.
Well, I'll try and simplify it a little bit more. The mirror theory. Okay. Everything you see and feel is a projection of your own stuff. So if you get your hand right now, and this was something that we learned in one of our trainings once, if you do like this sign, okay, that's 2 of your fingers and you've got 3 there. So if you point it outwards like you're about to judge someone, maybe you can do this the next time before you go to judge someone. How many fingers are pointing out? It's only these 2, right? And there's 3 pointing back at you, okay? 3 pointing back. You got to look inside first before you go look out. Is it that inner critic that comes up all the time? Or is it the cheerleader on the opposite shoulder that's louder than the critic? And this is the constant battle that you will go through to try to lessen the noise of the critic and put the volume up on the cheerleader. For yourself, first and foremost, because that's where it all starts. Happy birthday, Brooks! And then you look out. So I hope that analogy helps you. But with the mirror, it's if you catch yourself judging another person, it's really just bringing up something in you that actually needs your attention. There's a gap there. There's something that needs your attention. It's actually highlighting something for you. Why did that? Ask the questions to yourself. Why did I react that way? Did you see that unfold in me when that whole situation went down? I was out loud, why did I react that way? Why did I think this way? Curiosity. Curiosity is going to be your savior, because it will point you to the lessons that you need to learn to never have that experience again. And the only reason why your reactions and your emotions are there are actually to protect you.
For sure. You just you reminded me of something when I was talking about that domestication and everything that has been programmed in us being good or bad. So when you relate that concept into the self-judgment, So let's not necessarily the mirror part, like say other people's projections, but more the critic that Bianca's talking about, or when you see yourself as the victim. The problem with that concept the critic, critic, victim, that concept there, the problem with the self-judgment there, I was saying to Bianca before, like, we have such powerful brain capacity, such powerful memory capacity, that if you do something that goes against what you think is a good or bad decision or belief, then you hold yourself in contempt.
Yeah.
You hold yourself, like, this is where the discord or dis-ease happens with you.
Literally, like, dis-ease, put the letters together, disease. Like, where are you storing that shit in your body?
Because that's the thing. So any trauma, that's a completely different topic.
We're not going down
there. But the point that I'm trying to make here is very clearly that if I always talk about, guilt, shame, anxiety, fear. Like, you got to understand that guilt and shame is something that has happened in the past. If you're carrying around guilt and shame all the time, it's something that has coming. It's coming from the past, and you haven't addressed it. That's why it keeps popping up. So you're going against that critic inside, that judge inside. You keep judging yourself based upon an act, a thought, whatever it was, and then the anxiety and the fear gets drawn from the future. Like, you're uncertain or unclear of what's meant to be, of what's going to happen. So then you're self-judging what is not even a reality yet, hasn't even come to pass. So I guess what we're trying to say is, this is like I said, we want to make everyone aware of these concepts because they're powerful and they're deep. But when you start grasping a hold of something like judgment, internally, externally, when you start getting a hold of fulfillment internally to create the flow and the harmony in your life.
Self-worth.
Everything comes back to self-worth, 1,000,000%. I agree with you, because if you're not, self-loving, self-worth, if you don't have the capacity to bring it in, if you don't have the capacity to push that stuff out, then it's not going to work. The balance doesn't work. The yin and yang doesn't work.
Ease and flow, baby. Ease and flow.
Yeah. So, look, this has been intense.
That was probably more intense than what we've spoken about.
In saying that, we knew it was going to be that kind of way, because it's such a heavy topic. But it's still worth having the awareness around it, and as uncomfortable as it is, it's still worth delving into it. And like Bianca said, whatever chapter, whatever page of the book, whatever part of the journey you're on, all of it is worth it. This is...
Well, actually, yeah. I'll leave you with a few little questions to ponder on that I wrote down. When others make mistakes, are we quick to judge and ridicule, or do we acknowledge it as a learning experience and as a part of their journey? Look at any successful person, read any autobiography. Like, it's not all smooth sailing. Like, there's always bumps in the road, right? Do we provide a non-judgmental environment for others to reveal themselves to us? And being approachable is, wow, you've got to have a beautiful, a really great energy about you to be able to not be able to judge people in that one-on-one environment.
For sure.
And
sorry.
Okay.
No, I was that, like, not being able to judge people, because sometimes a person just needs you to hold the space.
Yeah.
Sometimes a person needs silence or just needs the energy from you.
Not for you to say anything.
Yeah.
Not for you to judge them. Just listen, like we said before. Okay, we're going to leave you with this tonight, all right? And this is from one of my favourite books, but it's an Albert Einstein quote. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. Perfectly sums up our chat today. Don't judge a book by its cover. Seek first to understand, and always look in first before you point the trigger out.
Go deep.
Don't pop people's bubbles. Don't pop people's bubbles. All right, we're wrapping up. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you all next week. But to prove that you were here tonight, we still have till the end of May. We've got our May competition running. Take a snap of your favourite frame of us sharing our live with you tonight, preferably with your face in front, not a wacko photo of Anthony, but we'll take it. That's fine. And you can now tag at lockdown.with.the.loshies on Instagram. And we will, one photo per episode, and you'll be in the entry to win, actually, maybe it will be this title. A book of our choice that we've spoken about in our first month of live podcasting with you guys. So we would love to see you tag us, and we can't wait to see you next week. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a fabulous week ahead. Lots of love.
Peace.